Shalom, shalom. So before I get started, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakak Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Israel, aka the head apostles of Great Millstone, who do rule well and teach well with sound doctrine. Shalom to the elders and the elder bishops of Great Millstone as well. Peace, love, salutations, and blessings to all the sincere Akim and Akwath who do subscribe to this truth. A hearty shalom to the men out there in the highways and byways, highways and hedges, preaching and teaching in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and risking their freedom, now more so than ever, especially in these times, making their bodies a living sacrifice, out there on the highways and byways, highways and hedges with the testimony of our Lord Yahweh Shai, which is the spirit of prophecy, which allows men to go into the scriptures and bring out understanding on a high level. And last but not least, a hearty shalom to the men of Valor Camp, DTA Camp, New Jersey, NYC, Philly, Baltimore, Jersey, NYC. First camp I ever heard the truth from, Isaiah 62 verses 6 through 7. Those that make mention of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, keep not silence, give him no rest day or night. To Jerusalem is a praise in the earth. So, want to touch base on this cyber attack situation and jump into a couple videos, an article, and tie it in all with the scriptures. Lord's will, this lesson will be edifying, and let's get right to it. So this is a video that came off of GMS Watchman, his main page, a couple weeks back, May 12th. Let's play it.
The COVID-19 pandemic has shaken our economies and societies to the core and shown us how vulnerable we are to biological threats. In the digital world, similar risks are being overlooked right now. A cyber attack with COVID-like characteristics would spread faster and further than any biological virus. Its reproductive rate would be around 10 times greater than what we've experienced with the coronavirus. To give you an idea, one of the fastest worms in history, the 2003 Slammer Sapphire worm, doubled in size approximately every 8.5 seconds, infecting over 75,000 devices in 10 minutes and almost 11 million devices in 24 hours. Fortunately, at least until now, cyber attacks have not impacted our health the way pandemics have, but the economic damages, and therefore the impact they have had on our daily lives, have been equal and sometimes even greater. You see, the only way to stop the exponential propagation of a COVID-like cyber threat is to fully disconnect the millions of vulnerable devices from one another and from the internet. All of this in a matter of days. The only way to stop the exponential propagation of a COVID-like cyber threat is to fully disconnect the millions of vulnerable devices from one another and from the internet. All of this in a matter of days. A single day without the internet would cost our economies more than $50 billion, and that's before considering the economic and societal damages should these devices be linked to essential services such as transport or healthcare. As the digital realm increasingly merges with our physical world, the ripple effects of cyber attacks on our safety just keep on expanding at a faster pace than what we're preparing for. COVID-19 was known as an anticipated risk. So is the digital equivalent. Let's be better prepared for that one. The time is now.
So what they're doing is hinting at digital IDs with that video. You know, the World Economic Forum, which is behind the Davos agenda, wants to do the Great Reset. And part of the Great Reset is redoing society and rewiring society to their New World Order Agenda 21, Agenda 2030 agenda. And part of that is doing away with livestock, limiting livestock, so on and so forth, controlling what you eat, what you watch, what you put in your body, what you think, so on and so forth. How you move, where you can move, how you get paid. So this video is from the Ice Age Farmer. It came out May 31st. I was literally watching this video, a little bit of this video, before I did camp. And Slovakia, the cyber attack first happened in Australia. It didn't happen in the United Kingdom. I thought it was the United Kingdom. Sorry about that. But let's play this video right here. A little bit of it, about 4 minutes of it.
Company in the world, JBS, is currently the biggest meat company in the world. JBS is currently shut down globally because of a cyber attack. Now, if you remember the Americold cyber attack, where the cold storage provider had their systems go down and everything just ground to a halt. They didn't know what was coming in on these trucks. They didn't know what was supposed to be going out on the other trucks. They didn't know what was in their huge cold storage freezer, what this pallet over there, everything just stopped until they were able to get those systems back up. This same scenario is now transpiring at JBS, except that there are animals involved, lots, right? They don't know where their cows are. They don't know where their animal feed is. They don't know where their truckers are supposed to be going to pick these things up or to bring them over for processing. And again, when live animals are involved, and as in general with our supply chain, everything is so fine-tuned, it's just a just-in-time supply chain, that there are dangerous situations that happen here. So for example, many of these feedlots have just enough feed to feed the animals until the very day that they go off for processing. But now that the whole engine has shut down, those animals are still there, and there's no food for them. So you can see how this can, even within a couple of days, very quickly cascades into a humanitarian crisis for the animals, and certainly into outsized disruptions of the global protein supply and the meat market. In fact, you can see right here, union reps are already saying there could be a protein deficiency globally if we're not able to get JBS back online and processing. Now, what's not mentioned is that JBS had already been stopping some of their facilities. In fact, we've talked about this. The drought in Brazil was destroying their safrina, their corn crop there, and feed costs were exploding. Now that we've got $7 corn, we got these meat companies that are basically just feeding money into the cows, and then they're not even able to sell their meat anymore because people can't afford to pay that kind of price. The demand, it says domestic demand is dwindling. It's not, demand is still there. It's just they're priced out of the market. People can't afford super expensive meat. So now they're starting to idle their operations. This is April 12th. Brazilian beef packers are halting production in selected locations. Well, that's not a very good story, right? We're just going to stop making meat because we run out of animal feed. That doesn't really sound good. But what sounds better is if we just marry these two things. What better time than just to marry the World Economic Forum's cyber pandemic and these cyber attacks on our critical infrastructure with the war on meat? So all of a sudden, this perfectly scripted cyber attack on JBS happens. Again, it wasn't just JBS and beef. You can see Reuters reporting that BRF, the world's largest poultry exporter, right? That means that's where the rest of the world gets their chicken, is from the biggest exporter of poultry in the world, that was considering slaughtering their chickens and stopping their pork and poultry plants. Why? Because of the record corn prices, because we can't get animal feed, or we can't afford to feed these animals. JBS was doing the same thing. So it is no surprise that they reach into their back pocket and pull out that perfect excuse, the cyber pandemic. They are, after all, a World Economic Forum partner company here from wefforum.org, JBS, the world's largest processors of animal protein. Well, that's pretty insightful, isn't it? That they're a partner with the World Economic Forum who's openly advocating for the post-animal economy. Yeah, it's because JBS is in on it. They want to end animal agriculture. So does Tyson. Here's Tyson Foods stating their commitment to sustainable protein and to Davos, to the World Economic Forum. Yeah, they're in on this. So they know. So when we heard Klaus Schwab utter those words last year at the Cyber Polygon think tank exercise where they talked about how there's going to be a cyber pandemic, he said,
"We all know, but still pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack.
And as Klaus...
And that's Esau prophesying on the left-hand side, puffing at his enemies, in the form of everybody who's not a part of the New World Order, Davos agenda, Agenda 21 agenda, Sustainable Development agenda, Agenda 2030 agenda. Telling you what he's going to do before he's doing it, before he does it, better yet. Because he's a proud man. So it looks like as of an hour ago, JBS is back up and running. They're getting back online an hour ago. So we'll see what goes on with that situation. But they supply a ton of the meat that goes into your local supermarkets. And the FBI is saying that a Russian-linked group is connected to the cyber attack. So we'll see where this goes as far as on that end. But let's get into the scriptures. So 2 Ezra 16:8. The mighty Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? Nobody. Once Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has your number, once he's numbered your kingdom, once he's set, to come after you in the form of a plague, in the form of a pestilence, in the form of delivering you into the hands of your enemies, it's over. And Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is sending the plagues right now upon Babylon. Slowly but surely. One day at a time, one step at a time. 2 Ezra 16:37. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. And the plagues, as far as the famine on a full-fledged, are drawing nigh. You can see the signs of it. These people are running test runs. The gas crisis via a cyber attack. The meat crisis via a cyber attack. And all of a sudden, a few days later, oh no, it's back up and running. That's Esau on the left-hand side prophesying, letting you know what he's going to do, because he's a prideful man, neither keepeth at home, so on and so forth. And through his pride, he has no choice but to let you know what he's going to do. Because Esau, that's his nature, man, and then he'll lie about it the next day or 2 days later, or 3 days later, make up some bullshit story. That's Esau, man. A murderer from the beginning and a liar from the beginning. Lamentations 4:9. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger, for these pine away, stricken through for want of the fruits of the field. And you're going to have a lot of people starve out when the famine comes full-fledged. When this becomes a real thing in the form of a cyber attack that attacks the meat supply, and the meat supply doesn't get back up and running, a lot of people are going to starve out in Jacob's trouble, because these people, a lot of them won't take that max, and they're going to be starving out. They don't want to take the chip. They're going to be starving out. If you don't have the protection via Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, then you're not going to be eating in those days, You'll be eating your own people. Eating your own loved ones. Cannibalism is coming back, because when people are in desperate times, they result to desperate measures. And desperate measures means eating your own loved ones, eating your own children, so on and so forth. Ezekiel 5:16. When I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, which shall be for their destruction, and which I will send to destroy you. And I will increase the famine upon you, and will break your staff of bread. And that's what Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is letting it be known, that he's going to do. He's going to starve a lot of people out. And right now, he's putting the spirit on Esau to let that be known on the left-hand side, because Esau's a prideful man. He has no choice but to throw hints out there about his plans. Step by step, gradualism, central bank digital currencies, digital IDs, RFID wristbands, Maxine passports. Those are all steps through gradualism to let people who, I would say, have eye salve see that this man is inching towards the charagma, man. The prophesied thing, the MOBZ for Sheezy. The mark, man. And what he's doing on the left-hand side is he's also getting ready to do a large-scale famine. Also a famine of the word. Esau, with his YouTube guidelines, you can't even say certain things in your videos. You got to be careful of what you say during live streams, camp sessions, videos like this, so on and so forth. Because this man is scared, shaking in his boots, man, of the report. And the report does say, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, you're not going to get away with any of this, man. But you have to be the prideful man that you are and throw hints about your plans out there, man, because of your pride. And also, this is revealing who Esau is, man. The prideful man, the murderer, who will be in the last days, at the end times, doing exactly this, step by step. Revelation 18:4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Come out of Babylon spiritually, mentally. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High hath remembered her iniquities. The atrocities done to the so-called Native Americans, are unearthing, they're being discovered. The atrocities that have been done to the Southern Kingdom as well. All the wickedness you perpetuate in the earth. Those sins have reached the heavens, man. Revelation 18:6. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works, in the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. Slavery, captivity. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. This is the patience and the faith of the saints. Well, that's coming back to you, man. Revelation 18:7. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she hath saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. And that's what this man is doing on the left-hand side, Esau, Edom, through the pride, through his pride, better yet, and through just being a diabolical devil. He's letting it be known that, I'm going to bring a famine, you know? He's letting it be known that I'm going to do a cyber attack, you know? But you also have, through his pride, him thinking that his perpetual queendom, that's what it is, because it vibrates under a Queen of Heaven spirit, you know, via Revelation 18:7. I said the queen, I'm no widow and shall see no sorrow. He thinks his queendom is gonna last forever, you know. But, you know, this queendom has its day numbered in the heavens, man, you know. And that day is inching closer and closer. Revelation 18:8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine. And she shall be utterly burned with fire, the ICBM missiles. For strong is the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshai who judgeth her. And it's going to be one hell of a sight when this place gets bombed, man. You know, when you see those strange rains in the sky, man, it's gonna be one hell of a sighting, man. And Adonai Rathasah, you know, we're on the right side of that view, you know, viewing it from the chariots, man. Job 5:19-22. Job, the 5th chapter, 19-22. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. In famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. There are certain men who are not going to be phased at all by the famine, you know. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshai willing were those men, you know, and preserved, you know, in the time of Jacob's trouble and from the ICBM missiles, man. Adonai Rathasah, that's our lot. Job 5:21. Thou shalt be hidden from the scourge of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. And these brute beasts in the form of Esau, Edom, you know, we're not going to be afraid, you know, in that day, you know. Adonai Rathasah were of the hopeful elect, you know, we're of the elect. Not at all, man, you know. And at destruction and famine, thou shalt laugh. Somebody's going to be feeling this lot right here. You know, this isn't written for no reason, man. And Adonai Rathasah, this is us, you know. Because somebody has to be hid from the scourge of the tongue, you know, and from destruction and famine. Lord's will, it's us. Last precept. Isaiah 65:13-14. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshai, behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Certain men are going to be good during Jacob's trouble, you know, not being hungry, not being thirsty, you know. But also those same men right here are not spiritually, you know, in the form of being thirsty, you know. They have the rivers of living water, you know, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshai. And it's a beautiful thing, you know, to be on the right-hand side, you know, of the message, you know, in the form of being able to understand it, in the form of being able to articulate it, in the form of being able to digest when a brother puts on his camera and hits record and starts feeding the sheep. It's a beautiful thing to understand this truth. Be blessed that you understand, because 2/3 of our people don't, and to their own demise, they're not going to understand. Isaiah 65:14. Behold, my servants shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. And this is what you don't want to be right here. Crying for sorrow of heart and howling for vexation of spirit. Going back into the book of Lamentations 4:9, they that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. For these pine away, stricken through for want of the fruits of the field. And Esau is going to starve a lot of people out, and that's Yahweh Bashim Yahshai using Esau to do so, and these are all test runs that these people are doing right now. Cyber attack, shut this down, shut that down. 2 days later, it's back up and running. 4 or 5 days later, the gas plants are back up and running. But there's going to be a time where these things are going to be happening, and they're not going to be up and running in the next few days. 2 days later, 4, 5, 6 days later, up and running. This is a beautiful precept right here, Isaiah 24:10. The city of confusion is broken down, that every house is shut up, that no man may come in. And there's going to come a day where this precept is going to hit like none other. The grinding shall cease, permanently. And these are all signs that that day is coming closer. So with that, I'd like to close on out. In closing on out, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles of Israel, a.k.a. the head apostles of Great Millstone, who do rule well and teach well with sound doctrine. Shalom to the elders and the elder bishops of Great Millstone as well. Peace, love, salutations, and blessings to all the sincere Akim and Akwath who do subscribe to this truth. A hearty shalom to the men out there in the highways and byways, highways and hedges, preaching and teaching in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and risking their freedom, now more so than ever, especially in these times, making their bodies a living sacrifice out there in the highways and byways, highways and hedges with the testimony of our Lord Yahweh Shai, which is the spirit of prophecy, which allows men to go into the scriptures and bring out understanding on a high level. And last but not least, a hearty shalom to the men of Outer Camp, New Jersey, NYC, DTA Camp, Philly, Baltimore, Jersey, NYC. First camp I ever heard the truth from, Isaiah 62, verses 6 through 7. Those that make mention of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, keep not silence. Give him no rest day or night. To Jerusalem is a praise in the earth. So, Lord's will, you found this lesson edifying. Until next time, Lord's will, shalom. DTA, above the ball. Soon.